Good morning and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Review. So today's book is going to be on Terry Pratchett's book, Mort. So this is part of the Discworld book series. So if you haven't been following my recent reads and reviews, Discworld is basically this world. It is a flat world or a flat earth that is resting on the backs of four elephants who are standing on a flying space turtle who flies through the universe, a turtle by the name of Atwin. Gender unknown. Nobody knows the gender of this turtle. So it is this fantastical fantasy world playing off the whole flat earth and world turtle idea. So this book, or this series as a whole, is actually quite humorous. I'm really enjoying it. Death itself is a very interesting character, of kind of a funny, humorous take on the idea of death within this book specifically. So in this story, we have Mort, who basically gets an apprenticeship with death to become, I guess, the next death. He starts learning the trade and learning how death works. Oh, what what happens here is Mort finds that he has to come to terms with the reality of death, and he must learn to accept the harsh reality that death is a thing that cannot be avoided. Fate it can't be avoided, and he has to face this reality. See, most people have this idea of this character: death comes to take you, and you can somehow avoid death or avoid fate. And he learns this harsh lesson when he rescues a princess from certain death, only to discover that he has basically triggered the events that will spell doom for the whole world. And the princess, even though she's still alive, the whole world behaves as if she is dead. And Mort has to set things right. And basically, he has to accept the reality that death has no preference. Death will collect what is due, regardless of your social, economic, or political status. Death will come to collect you eventually, regardless of what might be considered fair or just or any other factor, whether it's right. Sometimes those bad people, they don't get death when we might think they ultimately deserve that fate, and the good people die at the hands of bad people sometimes. And death is just there to collect. Death does not judge. Death does not determine who gets to live and who gets to die. Death is just there to collect our souls when that time comes for us. Essentially, there is no justice, there is just us. And that's kind of a really interesting concept that this particular book plays off. And it does so in a very humorous, funny kind of way. And just overall, uh, it's an enjoyable read. And it kind of puts things in a little bit of perspective in that sense, with respect to the idea that death is no judger of individuals or persons and has no preference and no bias. Death comes for us all eventually. And one of the things I'm also really enjoying about this series is the way it kind of pokes fun at the idea of gods or gods and religion and the silliness of religion in general and the beliefs that are surrounding that. So that's one of the aspects I'm really liking is often it'll poke fun at the gods or poke fun at how they've made mistakes or they're too busy squabbling among themselves about which god is right or which god is the more real god and things like that. It's just generally poking fun at that whole concept of gods and religion. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of these books because he does it in such a lighthearted, funny way. It's kind of hard not to enjoy it, really. And that is it's just a funny book, funny series. Terry Pratchett really is a great writer, and I'm really beginning to enjoy his books overall. And one of my favorite aspects of this particular book is the final confrontation between Mort and Death at the end. They kind of have a final square off uh, at the end of the book where they're kind of trying to set things right. I won't get into too much, don't want to give any spoilers on that, but that was definitely a fun part of the book to read, and I really enjoyed that. And overall, Mort is a great, funny book, and Death, by far, is becoming one of my favorite Terry Pratchett characters. As a few other people said, Death is also becoming their favorite Terry Pratchett character, and just a good, enjoyable read all around. So those are just some of my thoughts on Mort from the Discworld series. And of course, don't forget to stay tuned. Next, we are going to be reading Sorcery by Terry Pratchett, the next book in the Discworld series. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. And as always, don't forget to check out the Terry Pratchett playlist on this channel, where you can see all my reviews on Terry Pratchett books as I read them. We'll be adding more into there. And of course, like, comment, subscribe. I'm also going to have the links to all my social media profiles in the description below. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, MeWe, WordPress, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Have yourself a great day.